Manager mocks black man as time waster, then discovers he's the hidden billion-dollar investor. The air pulsed with tension that sweltered under the fluorescent lights of the tech office, where sleek desks and shining monitors stood stark against the worn-out shoes of Thomas, the 45-year-old janitor. While he scrubbed away at the remnants of a hurried lunch, he overheard the voices of his manager, Jake, and a few coworkers seeping through the corridor like a sickening poison. "The guy's just wasting time," Jake sneered, chuckling. "I doubt he even knows what Gmail is." Thomas's heart sank. He too had dreams, big dreams for his teenage daughter, Mia. A fierce talent in art, her sketches whispered of a brighter future that fell out of reach, thanks to the hefty financial burdens weighing on their backs. Remembering the nights he spent with her at the table, encouraging her to chase those creative sparks, a fire ignited in his chest. He would not let her aspirations slip away. Fueled by hard-working parents who instilled resilience and honesty, he turned to night classes on investment strategies, poring over online resources with all he had. He imagined a future where Mia could thrive, an artist without limits. As he emptied the trash can and mopped the remnants of yesterday's mistakes, he envisioned a world where his humble contributions transformed into something monumental. The office buzzed with the hum of uncertainty, with whispers of layoffs and whispers of bankruptcy suffusing the atmosphere. Employees filed into the conference room, their faces clouded with worry as Jake's voice rose, dismissing their ideas with arrogant scoffs. It was as if he couldn't see the brilliance flaring around him, whether it was the collective ingenuity of his team or Thomas's potential, still carefully masked behind a role he didn't define. But that day was different. Thomas felt the ground shift beneath his feet as his heart beat loudly in his ears. Somewhere within him thrummed a deep-seated ambition that lay in wait. If change was to happen, he had to take control of his life. He discreetly pulled from his savings to invest in an innovative project he believed could empower everyday consumers. He hesitated, but that secret thrill of determination surged through him. This could be the turning point. Days morphed into weeks, and soon enough, the investment bore unexpected fruit. Thomas's heart raced as he documented the astonishing results, the office quieting in awe. At the all-hands meeting, his palms were clammy, and anxiety clung to him like a shadow as he took the stage. "I know I'm just the janitor," Thomas began, his voice steady, "but success knows no title. It's about recognizing potential in every corner." The very air crackled as jaws dropped in realization. The murmurings of disbelief hung thick as he laid out his results. Tears sprang to Mia's eyes as she watched her father, the man she adored, become the embodiment of resilience. The room felt electric with transformation, a shared experience among every team member. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Just as he thought they had crossed the bridge toward understanding, a ringing phone sliced through the air. It was news about a substantial investment opportunity, one that could risk it all. Thomas's face tightened with anxiety and hope in the same breath. The room held its breath, waiting for his next move, as they teetered on the edge of unexpected futures. Would he leap into the unknown, or would he take a step back? The answers loomed as he looked around at the faces of his team, poised for change. The silence was palpable, thick and tense, as Thomas's eyes scanned the faces surrounding him. His co-workers wore a mixture of disbelief and anticipation, the weight of the moment sinking in like a stone. Jake's smirk had vanished, replaced by a frown that betrayed a flicker of concern. It was as if time slowed, the chaos of the bustling office becoming a distant memory. Taking a deep breath, Thomas steadied himself. He felt the pulse of determination thumping ever louder in his chest, drowning out the whispers of doubt that had plagued him for years. This was it. The moment where he could stand tall, not just as the janitor, but as a force to be reckoned with. "We are at a crossroads," Thomas said, his voice gaining strength. "I didn't just take a risk, I saw a vision. A vision of something bigger than this office and bigger than ourselves. We have a chance to redefine everything." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, a wave of disbelief mixed with sparks of curiosity. He could see the doubt start to fade, replaced with a flicker of hope. He took a step forward, the spotlight of the meeting room sharpening his vision. He could almost see Mia's smiling face in his mind, how proud she would be. This wasn't just about him, it was about building a future for her and a testament to every overlooked dream. Before he could dive into the specifics of his investment, he noticed the shift in Jake's expression. Anger? Jealousy? Thomas couldn't tell, but he felt the need to assert his ground. "We're at the brink of something innovative. Something that can reshape the industry if we embrace it together." He addressed the room, signaling them to collaborate, to be a part of something momentous. The team leaned in, whispering to one another and reverberating with the possibility Thomas had ignited. "What's the opportunity?" one colleague questioned, genuine interest lighting their eyes. Thomas lifted a finger, urging the room to hold on. "Imagine a digital platform that connects local artists with community supporters. Every purchase could directly fund creators, turning dreams into reality at a grassroots level," he explained. A small spark lit within the team. The murmurs became nods of understanding, each person beginning to see their role in Thomas's vision. Meanwhile, Jake's face twisted, grappling with the physics of his shift in power. How could a janitor challenge his authority? It was clear, he wasn't ready for this, but just as the energy built into a crescendo, the phone ringing again sliced through their growing excitement. It was an investor's voice on the other end, offering funds, but with a catch. A heavy contract that seemed to bind creativity and freedom, leaving Thomas with the invisible chains he had fought so hard against. Thomas's heart raced. This was where it got complicated. Would he risk everything for a deal that could potentially stifle the very vision he painted for Mia and the community? Could he stand up to an investor whose motives weren't clear? I need to think. It slipped from his lips, the weight of uncertainty crashing down around him, boasting both relief and fear. In the eyes of his teammates, that spark of potential now dimmed with doubt. As the meeting adjourned, the office buzzed once more, thick with conversation, possibilities, and questions, the air electric with the challenge ahead. Would Thomas embrace the shadows of greed that loomed, or would he chase the light of truth? With Mia's sketches still fresh in his heart, Thomas made his way to the break room. Each step echoed with the pull of fate. He could feel the weight of every decision bearing down, leading him to a moment that would change everything. The uncertainty clung to him like the dust in the corners he had once swept away. Could he protect their dream without losing himself? Or would the claws of ambition prove too strong to resist? Thomas pushed open the break room door, the cool air washing over him like a brief reprieve. He needed a moment alone to collect his thoughts. The chatter from the meeting faded into a dull murmur, replaced by the hum of the refrigerator and the faint chirp of birds outside, sounds that felt almost foreign amidst the chaos in his mind. He stared at the coffee maker for a moment, its repetitive gurgling mirroring his racing heart. He poured himself a cup, letting the dark liquid swirl with steam, mixing warmth with the chill of uncertainty. This was about more than just a business opportunity. This was a chance to prove to the world, and to himself, that he was more than just the janitor. With each sip, he thought about Mia and the dreams she had sketched. How could he allow himself to be shackled by an investor who might not share their vision? That thought tightened like a noose around his chest. As he mulled over his options, the door creaked open again. It was Jake, a hesitant look plastered on his face as if he had a decision to make too. Thomas's stomach soured at the sight of him. What did he want? Hadn't he made it clear that this was not a time for games? Can we talk? Jake said, his voice low and steely. Thomas crossed his arms. He was in no mood for Jake's empty apologies or condescending remarks. What's there to talk about? Thomas shot back, the bitterness rising like acid in his throat. "You don't honestly think this is about you, do you?" Jake took a breath, steadying himself. "I wanted to shake things up on my own terms. But it looks like you're doing that now." Your terms? Your terms nearly sunk us all. Do you even care about the team, or is it all about your ego?" Thomas couldn't hold back. The anger surged out like a tide, however. Jake's expression softened, almost catching Thomas off guard. I thought you were just a janitor." The admission hung in the air like a heavy weight. "But you have ideas. I can't ignore that. I want to help." Thomas blinked, the words jolting him. Help? He never saw Jake as the sort to extend an olive branch. Was this real, or was Jake still playing some angle? "I know I messed up," Jake continued, glancing away. "But I didn't realize how serious you were about this. I want to work with you, not against you." A part of Thomas wanted to laugh a bitter chuckle at the irony, but he kept it inside. He felt the tension in his shoulders ease slightly. "Why should I trust you? You've played me before." "Because I can help get this off the ground. I can talk to the investor, maybe even negotiate better terms." The sincerity in Jake's eyes caught him off guard again. For a moment, Thomas hesitated, weighing his options. Could he really pull an ally from a rival? Before he could respond, another thought struck. "And what's in this for you, Jake?" The question hung heavy between them. Was it ambition? Guilt? Or something more profound lurking in the shadows of their rivalry? Jake swallowed hard. "Honestly, I think we both know the world needs more than just profit, it needs change. And I don't want to miss being part of that." Thomas's heart thudded as the offer lingered in the air. Could they really work together? It felt risky, but so did going it alone against an investor chasing big, impersonal numbers. In that moment, the door of possibility swung open wider, but so too did the door to betrayal. Trust was a fragile thing, especially with someone like Jake. As the moment of decision approached, Thomas took a deep breath. He needed to tap into every ounce of instinct he had. Would he reach out for this unexpected alliance, or would he close the door on Jake once and for all, risking everything he hoped to achieve? The stakes felt higher than ever before. Thomas weighed his options, each second feeling like a heavy weight pressing down on him. The realization that Jake wanted to join forces conflicted with every instinct he had honed during years of rivalry. Flashes of bitterness and resentment raced through his mind. But just as quickly, he remembered Mia's sketches, the ideas brimming with potential and purpose. "I need time to think," Thomas finally said, the words slipping out before he could rethink them. Jake nodded, reading the hesitation written on Thomas's face. "I understand. Just know I'm serious." He stepped back, the door closing gently behind him as he left the break room, giving Thomas the solitude he sought. With his back against the cool metal of the refrigerator, Thomas struggled to focus on anything other than the swirling turmoil in his mind. He could either sacrifice his vision to placate Jake, whose past actions had almost sunk them with the last venture, or take a leap of faith and embrace the possibility of a true partnership. The echo of the break room door clicked shut like the sound of a starting pistol. It urged him to make a decision, but the right choice didn't leap forward as clearly as it should. He took another sip of his coffee, the bitter taste now a stark comparison to the sweetness of clarity he yearned for. Images of the workspace flooded his mind, the overly polished conference room where pitches and statistics overshadowed the heart of their ambitions, the team whose spirit had nearly been crushed under Jake's misguided leadership. They deserved better. Heart racing, Thomas set down the mug. He wasn't just fighting for an idea or a startup. He was fighting for the future. He wanted to build a future where passion outweighed profit, and the team could flourish without egos getting in the way. He reached for his phone with one determination fueling him. Clarity wasn't something he could wait for to come to him, he had to forge it himself. With shaky fingers, he sent a message to Mia, asking if she was free for a quick chat. He wanted her insight, her dreams to blend with whatever decision he would make about Jake. Minutes felt like hours as he leaned against the counter, the sound of the refrigerator humming a familiar tune of anxious anticipation. When his phone buzzed, he jumped, clutching it tight as if holding a lifeline. It was Mia. She could meet him in the park nearby after work. Good, neutral ground. Walking out of the break room with urgency, Thomas felt the stirrings of hope mixed with fear. As he headed toward the park, he couldn't shake off the weight of another decision awaiting him there. Would he still cling to a partnership with Jake, or would he decide to lock arms solely with Mia and the heart of their original vision? Each choice he faced posed not only a risk to their project but a chance to shape who he was to become. The sunset glowed in the distance as he stepped outside, casting a warm light that flickered with possibilities. The park was alive, laughter floating through the air like music, yet he felt heavy with the burdens he carried. As he reached the park, Mia came into view, hair cascading down her shoulders, a sketchbook tucked under her arm. She looked eager, and the sight filled him with resolve. This was the conversation that mattered. Would she share his vision, or would the stakes spiral even higher than they already were? Before he could step closer, he heard the familiar, unwelcome voice behind him. "Hey, Thomas. You going to leave me hanging, or are we actually going to talk?" It was Jake, his tone laced with surprising cockiness. Just as Thomas was about to respond, a strange certainty gripped him. Why was Jake here now? That feeling of unease took root again. "Funny you should ask," Thomas replied, his pulse quickening. "Because I've got some decisions to make." And this time, he wasn't stepping back. Thomas turned slowly, the weight of his decisions like lead in his stomach. Jake stood there, confident and cocky, casually leaning against a tree. It was as if he didn't realize the tension crackling in the air between them. "Can we not do this here?" Thomas said, his voice steady yet edged with frustration. He glanced over at Mia, who was watching the scene unfold with concern etched in her features. Jakey smirked but pushed off the tree. "I'm not trying to cause trouble, Thomas. I just want to know where you stand." Thomas took a deep breath, refusing to let Jake's demeanor rattle him any further. "My future is a big question right now, and I need some time to figure it out. You said you would give me space. Maybe I changed my mind." The words flowed too easily from Jake's lips. Thomas' heart raced. Was this really the guy he wanted as a partner? He could feel Mia's eyes on him, searching for guidance, for clarity. "Jake," Thomas said, choosing his words carefully, "this isn't just about you. We could be building something meaningful here." Or he hesitated, "You could just be another setback." Setback? The disbelief on Jake's face morphed into flash anger before he masked it with a laugh. "Come on, man. I've helped you before. You should be grateful instead of second-guessing me." Thomas felt a flicker of rage but kept it buried beneath the surface. "Gratitude doesn't mean I should overlook your history. Trust isn't built overnight." Suddenly, Mia stepped forward, her voice calm yet firm. "I think this is a moment we can either elevate or let fester. Maybe we should talk about our vision instead of just butting heads." Thomas met Mia's gaze, a lifeline in the chaos. He needed her perspective now more than ever. "What do you think, Mia? Do you see a partnership here, or do we walk on our own?" Mia looked thoughtful, her fingers dancing over the sketchbook tucked under her arm. "I believe we each have something valuable to offer. But it has to be based on mutual trust." Jake rolled his eyes. "Trust isn't going to pay the bills. We need action, not daydreams." Thomas felt the heat in his veins. "What we need is vision," he blurted, the fire inside him rising. "If all we chase is money, we'll lose everything that makes us unique." An awkward silence settled among them, each shifting as if trying to overcome the tension. And then Mia broke the stillness, her voice gentle but passionate. "We can find a way to merge both, Thomas. The world is changing. People want purpose behind their purchases. We could inspire them with our project. Jake feigned a laugh. And while you daydream, I'll be out there making deals and snagging investors. Investors? Thomas shot a glance at Jake, confused. Yeah, Jake's expression shifted, a hint of uncertainty creeping in. I know some people. Backers who want to see profits. But at what cost? Mia interjected, eyes widening. Thomas felt torn, but Jake was already plotting. He waved dismissively. You'll see, I can bring in some funds. All you need to do is trust me. That easy, huh? Thomas scoffed. Let us just meet tomorrow and talk numbers. I'll show you something that changes your mind. Thomas held Jake's gaze, searching for any signs of sincerity. In that fraught moment, he made a decision. Show me, then. But don't kid yourself into thinking I'm just going to fall in line. Jake shrugged, seemingly unfazed. As he turned to walk away, a new tension filled the air, determination. I'll make sure you're the first to see the opportunity, Jake tossed over his shoulder, the door left ajar for possibilities both good and bad. When they were finally alone, Thomas felt the electricity between him and Mia buzzing. This conversation was pivotal. It could either spark inspiration or lead them further down the rabbit hole of uncertainty. What now? Thomas asked, anxiety thrumming in his chest. I guess we wait to see what he brings to the table, Mia replied. But doubt lingered in her voice. Just be careful, okay? I believe in our vision. I will, he promised, though a question nagged at him. Could they really trust Jake? What if this was another game for him, another chance to undermine everything they were building? As twilight deepened, they stood, two paths diverging before them, the hope of what they could create or the possibility of more betrayal. Let us just hope tomorrow is worth it, Thomas said, feeling the weight of every decision pushing down on him. But tomorrow loomed, and with it, daunting questions. What truth awaited him in that meeting? Would everything change, or would this be the beginning of the end? The next day arrived with a heavy feeling, a mixture of hope and apprehension that clung to Thomas like morning fog. As he tidied up his workspace, every minute dragged, each tick of the clock amplifying the tension in his chest. Mia arrived early, her usual enthusiasm dimmed. She had brought coffee, but even that didn't seem to lighten the mood. Do you think Jake will really come through? She asked, a hint of doubt piercing through her hopeful facade. I don't know, Thomas replied, poring over their plans once again. He's got connections, but I can't shake the feeling, the way he acts. It's like he's only in it for himself. Mia nodded, staring into her cup. If he plays it right, he could help us. But it feels like a risk. Are we ready to gamble everything on him? Thomas glanced at her, and that flicker of doubt echoed in his own heart. I believe in what we're building here. I just don't know if he's the right fit. The minutes inched closer to their meeting, the sun rising higher in the sky. Finally, there was a knock at the door. The sound sliced through the air, and both of them exchanged glances, expectation and anxiety mingling in the air between them. Should we? Mia whispered, already moving toward the door. Let us just brace ourselves, he replied, steeling himself. As the door swung open, Jake walked in with a swagger, a briefcase bouncing at his side. Ready to talk money? I hope you're prepared for some good news, he smirked, but beneath that bravado, Thomas sensed something, an edge of desperation perhaps? Let us hear it, then, Thomas replied, folding his arms. Jake plopped his briefcase on the table with a thud. All right, so I spoke to some people. Real investors. They're interested. He opened the case, revealing stacks of documents and a laptop. And what is the catch? Mia asked, her eyes narrowing. Jake shot her an incredulous look. No catch. Just potential and a little trust. Thomas leaned forward, glancing at the documents. If it's that simple, then why us? We're just starting out, and you've got bigger opportunities elsewhere. A flicker of uncertainty crossed Jake's face, quickly masked by his composed demeanor. Because you too have something unique. You're different. It's not just about the bottom line. I believe people will connect with what you offer. Mia stepped in, sensing the moment. Then let us see what you've got. Show us the details. They crowded around the laptop, its screen filling with pie charts and projections. Jake spoke confidently about growth potential, about what they could achieve together. Yet, there was something in the way he spoke, like he was trying to convince himself as much as them. As the pitch progressed, Thomas realized how much was riding on this moment. He stole a glance at Mia. Her brow was furrowed, a mix of intrigue and concern. Where did you get this information, Jake? Thomas asked, the question tumbling out before he could hold it back. These numbers look great, but do you actually believe in what we're doing? Jake hesitated, the facade cracking slightly. I want to, he finally admitted, his voice quieter than before. But I need you to trust me too. Mia's expression shifted, her vulnerability shining through. Trust is earned, Jake. We need more than numbers on a page. An awkward silence settled between them as the weight of each unspoken word floated in the air. Let me know how we can make that happen, Jake finally said, glancing at them. But there was a noticeable tremor in his confidence now. Just as Thomas began to respond, an unexpected beep came from Jake's phone. He picked it up, his face paling as he read the message. I have to take this. Urgent, he said, rushing out of the room. As the door closed behind him, tension knotted in Thomas's stomach again. Is this really happening? He murmured softly, trying to make sense of the chaos. I don't know, Mia replied, her voice shaky. But that felt too easy, and now something doesn't feel right. They exchanged worried glances, and Thomas could feel unease emanating from every corner of the room. I can't shake this feeling, Mia. What? Just happened wasn't just business, it was personal in a way. I need to understand what's really going on. Just then, the door swung back open, and Jake re-entered, his expression grave. We need to talk, and it can't wait. You're not going to believe what I just found out. The words hung thick in the air, and suddenly, everything felt like it was about to change again. What revelation awaited them, and would it bring them closer together or tear them apart? The gravity in the room shifted. Jake's eyes were wide, almost frantic, as he leaned in closer, lowering his voice to a near whisper. You both need to be careful. There's someone watching us. Someone who doesn't appreciate competition or people poking around where they don't belong. A chill rushed down Thomas's spine. What do you mean, watching us? Who? Jake glanced back at the door, as if he expected someone to come barging in at any moment. It's not just investors who are interested in your idea. I heard some things. People who aren't just looking to make money, they're willing to do anything to protect their turf. Mia frowned, her finger tapping restlessly against the table. Is this some kind of threat? Are you trying to scare us? No. I'm not trying to freak you out, but you're in deep waters here. I care about your project, but now it feels like a ticking time bomb. Jake's voice quivered, his usual bravado crumbling. I wouldn't be dropping this on you unless I thought it was serious. You need to understand that the stakes are higher than we imagined. The seriousness of his tone sank in, and a knot of fear tightened in Thomas's stomach. He looked at Mia, who was pale but resolute, her determination shining through the panic. What do we do? She asked, her voice firm. Jake's eyes darted around the room before he leaned in closer, his demeanor suddenly shifting again, a plan forming. I think you need to safeguard your idea. Meet with the right people, make connections. This isn't just about funding anymore. If you want to protect what you've built, you need allies, people who can stand by you if things get ugly. Thomas took a deep breath, weighing the risk against his vision. What are you suggesting? We go deeper into this world? To start involving more people? Yeah, Jake replied, his voice steadying. But be smart about it. Trust the right people. I have a few contacts that can help in a legitimate way. They're hungry for innovation, not just dollars. Mia's brows knitted together. Are we really sure we can trust you, Jake? You don't have the best track record when it comes to keeping it real. Jake nodded slowly, an uncharacteristic seriousness in his eyes. Fair point. I understand your hesitation. But all of this, it can't just be left to fate. I need you to give me a chance here. I promise, I'll do everything I can to make it right. Thomas looked at him, the tension hanging thick again. Hope flickered but struggled to break through the cloud of doubt. This all feels like a risky proposition. Risk is part of the game, Jake said, eyes narrowing, determination boiling beneath. But think about what you're fighting for. That passion? It deserves to be protected. They shared a look, Thomas and Mia. Here they were, standing at the edge of something vast and uncertain, a choice lying directly in front of them. All right, Thomas finally said, his voice steadier than he felt. Let us hear your contacts, but we're going to go in prepared. And no more surprises, Jake. We need full transparency. With a nod, Jake moved back, a small sense of relief easing his shoulders. Got it. No surprises. I'll set it up. But you need to be ready, this is going to get intense. Mia stood tall, her resolve hardening. We're ready for whatever it takes. If this is a fight for our dream, then bring it on. Just then, the phone on the table rang, a startling sound that momentarily jolted them all. Thomas hurried to grab it, glancing at the screen. It was an unknown number. He hesitated before answering. Hello? A breath caught in his throat as the voice on the other end spoke, low and ominous. I hear you've been asking questions. You need to stop, or there will be consequences. The realization hit hard, a tangible threat suddenly filled the air, and Thomas's heart raced. This was no longer just a business deal. They were entrenched in something far deeper and more dangerous than they had imagined. Mia's eyes widened as she saw the color drain from Thomas's face. What is it? Who was that? He swallowed hard, feeling the weight of those words pressing down. I think. We just stepped into a much darker zone. As they pondered their next step, a storm formed just beyond the walls of their fragile hope. Would they confront the dark forces at play, or would they back down in fear? What lies ahead could shatter everything they've ever wanted. Thomas stared at the phone like it might explode, his heart thumping against his ribs. The ominous voice lingered in his mind, and dread seeped through him like ice water. This isn't good, he murmured, shaking his head. Mia was on him in an instant, her eyes wide. You need to tell me what they said. Who were they? He brought the phone down to the table, feeling as if the air had thickened around them. They know we're looking into something bigger. They warned us to back off or else. Mia's face paled, but she didn't back down. We can't just stop. This is our opportunity, Thomas. We've worked too hard. I know, he said, running a hand through his hair, trying to think straight. But they're not just threats. This feels real. Jake cut in, his voice tense. Have you two considered that this might not just be idle talk? Someone out there has the power to make things very difficult for you. We could be talking intimidation, maybe worse. The implications of Jake's words sent a shiver down Thomas's spine. So what do we do? Just sit here, paralyzed by fear? No, Mia said, her voice resolute. We fight back. We can't let them scare us off. We're closer than we've ever been. Thomas searched her face, finding strength in her resolve. But how? We don't even know who we're up against. What if they really do mean business? The point is to protect what we have, Jake interjected, his eyes flickering with urgency. We've got to find allies, like I said before. You don't go against an enemy without an army. Mia nodded, an idea forming in her mind. Let us set up meetings with your contacts, Jake. We'll hear them out. But we'll also reach out to others like the investor we met a few weeks back. If we can get a blend of support, maybe we can stand a chance. Thomas hesitated. And if they see us as threats? What happens then? We plan for everything, Mia said, her conviction unwavering. But we have to act fast. I'll gather some information, see who can lend a hand and who might have insights on our competition. As she spoke, a resolve hardened inside Thomas. If they were stepping into murky waters, they'd need to dive in prepared. Okay. Let us do this. A wave of adrenaline washed over them all. They reached for their phones, ready to make connections, researching potential allies. As Mia typed furiously, Jake directed Thomas toward a contact who specialized in negotiating with powerful players. Minutes felt like hours as they pieced together their plan, fueled by a sense of urgency and determination. They knew they were in the deep end, but for the first time in a while, hope flickered again. Just as the tension began to ease slightly, Mia's phone buzzed with a notification. She peered at the screen and gasped, face going pale. Oh no. This is bad. What is it? Jake asked sharply. It's an article about us. About the project. Her voice trembled as she scrolled through the article detailing their venture, painting them not as pioneers, but as reckless dreamers standing on the edge of disaster. Who wrote this? Thomas demanded, dread pooling in his stomach. Mia's finger raced down the screen. It's from that blog, the one notorious for sensationalism. We need to control the narrative, Jake said, his mind racing. We can't let them spin this out of control. Mia's voice turned serious. We make our case louder than theirs. We need a public statement. We need to show our worth and fight back. No more hiding. Thomas felt the weight of their mission settle over him again, more intense than before. Whatever it takes, right? Right, Jake affirmed, determination igniting in his eyes. We'll get ahead of this, even if it means fighting dirty. As they each took a deep breath, the challenge lay bare before them. The path ahead was twisted, fraught with danger, but the fire in their hearts surged with a collective drive. In that moment, they were more than just dreamers, they were warriors ready to defend their vision against a world that sought to extinguish it. But as Thomas read through the comments escalating beneath the article, one question loomed. Would their passion be enough to combat the storm brewing around them, or would the forces stand unyielding, ready to crush their dreams? With a chilling thrill, he realized, the battle was just beginning. Mia's hands trembled as she pressed her finger against the screen. The words seemed to dance, mocking them further with every scroll. This is more than just an article, she said softly, her voice tinged with disbelief. This could turn public opinion against us. We have to act fast. Thomas knew they didn't have the luxury of time. Each moment spent mired in fear was a moment the forces against them could attack. What's our first step? He asked, his heart pounding. We need to clarify our mission, Jake suggested, glancing at Mia. Make sure everyone understands what we're doing and why it's important. We can use social media to get our side of the story out before it spirals. People love an underdog. Let us craft a statement, Mia said, her confidence returning. It has to be clear and compelling. We need to explain our vision and how it benefits everyone, not just ourselves. As the words poured out, Thomas felt a mix of pride and anxiety. They were taking control, but the question loomed, would anyone care? Okay, he said, sitting back. I'll take care of the drafting. But we also need visuals, something that can draw people in. A video? Testimonials? We need a hook. Mia nodded, her eyes brightening. Let us film something authentic. Our journey, our struggles, and what we truly believe in. People connect with stories. They want to feel something real. Jake interjected, we should focus on the positives. There's enough negativity out there, and we need to drown it out with hope. Let us rally support from the allies we gather. We can post behind-the-scenes snippets, maybe even some interviews. Right. Mia's excitement was infectious. She began brainstorming ideas, jotting down concepts and visuals that could frame their story. But in the back of Thomas's mind, he couldn't quite shake the chill from the article. It felt all-consuming, the thought of being painted as failures, as dreamers out of touch with reality loomed larger than ever. We can't afford to falter. The second we show any sign of weakness. Mia placed her hand on his. We won't falter. Not now. We're standing taller than we ever have. This is our moment, our chance to redefine how people see us. Just then, Jake's phone buzzed again, pulling all their attention. It's another article, he said, sounding incredulous. Same blog. What does it say? Thomas asked, his heart racing. They're doubling down, claiming we're unfit for this industry. But Jake paused, his eyes narrowing. They also mentioned someone else, an investor we've never heard of. $1 billion one. Thomas felt his breath hitch. What? His mind raced with possibilities. Are they bluffing? Maybe, Jake responded, scrolling through the article. But if it's true, this changes everything. If we get in touch with him, it could turn the tide in our favor. A spark ignited in Thomas's chest, but fear gnawed at him. What if it's a trap? What if reaching out only exposes us more? Mia straightened, her expression determined. We'll have to take the risk, Thomas. We can't just let this opportunity slip away. Thomas could feel the weight of the decision settling upon him. He could also feel the undeniable urgency pushing them forward. Let us not waste any more time, he said, his resolve hardening. Jake, reach out to your contacts and see what they know. Mia, start drafting that video pitch. We'll cover all bases before we reach out to this investor. As they moved with newfound energy, Thomas felt strangely less afraid. The unknown was still daunting, but he could sense the fire within them turning their fear into fuel. They wouldn't just survive this, they would fight back and reclaim their narrative. But what if the investor they sought was more than just a potential ally? What if he brought something even darker into their story? The truth was, they were stepping into the unknown, and the shadows had their own plans for them. The sun hung low, casting a warm glow over the park where Thomas, Mia, and Jake convened one final time. The air buzzed with a mix of anticipation and anxiety, their hearts pounding in sync to an unspoken rhythm of courage. This was the moment where everything would come together, or fall apart. Mia clutched her sketchbook, the weight of dreams and aspirations nestled close to her heart. Are you two ready? This could be a turning point. Her voice was steady, betraying the nerves that coursed through them all. As they set up their makeshift meeting spot, the reality of their journey settled in. Thomas took a deep breath. They had battled shadows, navigated doubts, and were now standing at the brink of something monumental. Let us make this count. We owe it to ourselves, and to everyone who believes in us. Jake straightened, adjusting his tie, a habit he picked up in moments of stress. I reached out to my contacts. They confirmed the investor's interest. He's looking for fresh ideas, and we've got just that. His eyes flashed, filled with a mix of excitement and awareness. Then we need to bring our A-game, Mia chimed in, her face determined. Let us show him why our project matters. As the minutes ticked by, tension hung in the air. Thomas's thoughts spiraled. What if this was just another false lead? What if everything collapsed again? But Mia's unwavering gaze fortified his resolve. He chased the doubts away, remembering the reason behind this fight: his daughter, their shared vision, the future he longed for. When the appointed time arrived, a sleek black car pulled up near the park's entrance, its polished surface gleaming in the sun. The passenger door swung open, and a tall figure emerged, exuding confidence. Every heartbeat echoed louder as Thomas, Mia, and Jake stood frozen, watching the man approach. "Mr. Langston," he introduced himself, extending a firm hand first to Jake, then to Thomas, and finally to Mia. "I've heard intriguing things about your project." His voice was smooth, laced with authority, but something in his eyes hinted at deeper intentions. "Thank you for coming," Thomas said, steadier than he felt. "We are excited to share our vision, a platform to connect local artists with the community, empowering creativity and collaboration." Langston nodded, a glimmer of piqued interest shimmering in his eyes. "I've seen the article about the challenges you're facing. It seems the world has taken notice of your ambition." Before Thomas could respond, Mia spoke up, her voice steady. "We believe every artist deserves support. This platform isn't just about profits, it's about inspiring others in their journey." Langston studied her, nodding thoughtfully. "That's an inspiring vision. I'm always drawn to bold ideas." The air thickened with anticipation. With a deep breath, Thomas dove in. "The community's passion drives our project. It's not merely a business model, it's about changing lives through art." He felt the conviction rolling off his tongue. The gravity of their goals fueled him. They were not just presenting, this was his moment to fight for everything he believed in. "I understand there's been some pushback from other investors," Langston said, eyebrows raised. "Challenges like that can be humbling. Tell me, how do you plan to overcome them?" "By rallying support," Thomas replied, his conviction shining. "People resonate with authenticity. If we can prove the value behind our passion, we won't just survive the storms, will thrive." As the conversation flowed, Mia added layers of depth, her passion igniting a fire in their pitch. They shared intimate stories and real testimonials, making their vision come alive. But just as hope surged, Jake's phone buzzed at his side. The sudden intrusion darkened the mood. He glanced down, concern etching itself into his features. "Hold on a second." The tension rose as Jake stepped aside to take the call. Thomas and Mia exchanged concerned glances. They had come so far, the last thing they needed was another curveball. When Jake returned moments later, he wore a grave expression. "We need to wrap this up. I just got word that there are people from the other side, those who threatened us, watching. They've been tracking us." Thomas felt ice rush through him. "What do we do?" Langston stepped in, calm yet commanding. "You must protect your vision. If this project is as important to you as you say, then stay the course. Fight back, but do it smartly. Do you have connections who can help us?" Mia asked. Langston nodded, a faint smile breaking through the tension. "I have allies who can support you. But remember, this world doesn't forgive easily. Every move matters." A renewed wave of strength surged through Thomas as he looked at Mia, her expression unwavering, eyes bright with purpose. "Then let us turn this around. We'll fight, and we'll win. Together." The determination hung in the air like fire. They all nodded in agreement, three unlikely partners standing against the storm, ready to reshape their destiny. As they walked into the chaos ahead, spirited conversations buzzing about alliances and strategies, they felt an undeniable shift. Each of them was on the cusp of true transformation, learning from the past, fueled by hope and ambition, a force greater than any threat. In that moment, Thomas knew it was no longer just about battling external forces. It was about claiming their rightful place in a world that often overlooked those who dared to dream. And while uncertainty loomed, he felt an unwavering resolve. They were writing their own story, and this was just the beginning. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and ensure we keep bringing you amazing content. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation, because you need to spread the inspiration. Don't wait not even one more second to share. True fans understand the importance of supporting the channel with every action.